The 6 reserves that we have, and we have 1 on this side, on the south side, and 5 from Ruskin to State Lake. But our traditional territory is very wide. Our people used to be 10,000 strong, and over time, like all nations, we were large. And that's because we helped each other. We helped each other survive. So in honor of Matqui, I'm saying that Matqui, in Old Grove area, Chief Alice McKay and her family and all of her members, and her students go to Old Grove. And in honor of Semiahmoo, Chief Harley Chapel and his family that go to South Langley and Surrey. And also in honor of our other sister nation, Katzie. And I know I'm sorry, I'm looking at orange and black up here, and I'm not sure if Katzie, like Deanna or Carly are here, but I want to acknowledge that we are sisters together and brothers with our Katzie Nation. And my sister-in-law, Grace George, is the chief of that nation, Lekeyten's baby sister. And from my sister Marilyn, Chief Marilyn Gabriel. And in honor of our dad, Grand Chief Joe Gabriel. He used to go to LSS here, and he was very, very sports-minded and very political because he had to be. And I know that we have many that, as Ernie said, we work, play, and we meet together, and COVID has been teaching us more patience than anything. I know I'm going further than what Ernie asked us, because I think it's meant to be. What a beautiful park. What a beautiful night to commemorate. Even if it was raining, we would still say it's beautiful because we need rain. We need rain to replenish everything that surrounds us. And that we recognize our 4 quadrants of ourself. Our emotional, our physical, our intellectual, and our spiritual, our shwali. Everyone, you put your hand up like this, like me. You each have a shwali from your family. Our ancestry, no matter what culture we are strong with our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our parents, our sisters and brothers. And today we're sisters and brothers on behalf of Orange Shirt Day, on behalf of the children, on behalf of the many more that are going to be found. Their voices are at the top of the ground now. Thank you. I'll let you put your hand down. Sometimes I'm like a teacher. It means a lot to me as Cheryl Gabriel from Education and Language Coordination. And also being lucky to be part of Lower Fraser Valley, the Langley School District, our friends at Wachia, all the wonderful nations that might have traveled far to be here in honor of our ancestors. My dad and my aunties, they didn't have 2 sisters that didn't come home. So when that news came out, the first thing I thought of was them and the many, many other people that have lost siblings, cousins, and friends. What you're doing is right. Whatever it is, thinking, talking, sharing, loving, hugging, working harder on what needs to be done. We can't forget now. Those 215 are international. All our artifacts and our people, our bones and blood are exposing itself. And we are raw right now with them. You're here for a particular reason, and that you're going to light a candle because the light needs to come back to those that need it the most. My mother had a number, not a name. My dad had a number, not a name. I know some of you have heard Sesmalot or Brandon or anybody else that spoke on behalf of our families. And our families just didn't go to Kamloops. Our families went to St. Mary's. Our family went to Lytton. Our family went to Cooper Island, Alberta, maybe farther, we don't know. It's time to find their story and bring it alive and make a story a beautiful, picturesque story in honor of them. My sister Phyllis put a panel out yesterday in Orange. I don't know if you got to see it on Facebook, but she added a flower, a beautiful petal flower on the orange and black panel that said 215, and we all know what that means. But in our nation, the history of residential school, government, and the church is very long. No more shame. No more guilt. Only happiness we should have, like we see our kids have. That's what we want. Our children are medicine, as Auntie Helen said. And Josette, she says, I have to see the children doing well at school. I'm always asking, is that child okay? That's our job. That's all of our job till we're gone. To care for the child because the mama and dada need help. And those that care for our children, they need help. And now we're in a place where we're going to have to make sure that mourning is turning into a wonderful path to wellness. My mom told her story to us. When she went to school, she was only 4. She wanted to go with her favorite brother, who was 1 year older than her. She said, Daddy, Mommy, I want to go with my brother. And she had other siblings there, other brothers already, and cousins from Shakin. And they ended up going to Lytton. And our Papa, Shkielsh means he who leads. He told his daughter, our mom, Maureen, work hard. Don't steal. And Yamida. Yamida means pray every day. And that's what I'm sure kept her strong, because she was the best student. She had A's. She was a fast runner and a high jumper. Our mom was the most beautiful, and still is, our beautiful matriarch. Strong horse people, strong mountain people. And then ours is salmon. And the strong Staloo. this Dolo River people with our dad and our grandparents. I can't imagine what my grandparents felt not knowing that their daughters were never going to come home. I'm strong in telling you, but when I first said it last week, I was weak in the knees. But I look at our elders and how strong they are in surviving. We're all surviving people. COVID taught us to survive, to be strong. Don't give up. Help the other person that needs help right now. There's a lot of people suffering in darkness. The candles and the symbolic candles and the symbolic sunshine rays coming to those people, they're around you. Our ancestors are with us. I can tell you all my hard times as a student, but what's more important, it's not happening to our kids. But when it does, it reminds us, it triggers us. And now we count on our loche, those who help, no matter where they are, not just in Langley. And Gord, you have a wonderful school district that believes in the Aboriginal program, you and Woody. Don't stop. Everyone here wants the best for their family. Family first. Work second. Now, wellness should be with you, walking with you. The commemorations across the world is amazing, and we are lucky to witness that. My mom, she talked to her brothers through a little hole in the basement because the boys and girls were separated. And they spoke their language. That's how they kept it strong. And all the things that our people across this land had to do to keep things safe. Like my husband's family from Stehelas, his father, Kuya, John Leon, 250, maybe 350 songs he knows, his dad. And at the time, in the early 90s, we didn't pick up a drum, we didn't sing. Now we're doing it, witnessing it. And language with my friend Selena Prost with our little voices, our little feathers. And the new Lower Fraser Valley and Aldergrove having the Head Start happen in Aldergrove, our people need it. The families need it. They need to go to a place to belong. Our city officials, you make the effort to show the traditional territories. Kwantlen, Matqui, Semiahmoo, Katzie, Whiteskycloud, Secw'epemc, Squamish Nation, Tawasan, Kwamusqueam, Seychelles. Katie's histories from Seychelles. Our nephews and nieces are there. Our sisters, my husband's sister is gone now, but she used to be cedar root weaver. Not cedar bark, cedar root. Allow all the culture to come back in whatever form it comes back. Even our oral tradition, like what I'm sharing with you right now, because it's meant to happen. I am speaking for my grandfather and my grandmother. Miriam Sapas, Chief Billy Sapas's daughter. I'm speaking for Stekosan, where Maryland has that name with our brother Gary. Stekosan. Halkamelam. Mine's Secw'epemc. It's an old name. Somebody asked me what it means, and I said I'm still trying to figure that out. Lekeyten got his name in 1999. His dad wanted him to have the name of his great-great-granduncle. He lived in the Harrison Lake area. That little island you see from the shore, that's where Lekeyten's family's buried. Keeper of the house post. The role is to make sure that no one brings any sadness with the sign. Oh, there's my sign. But I want you all to know, I'm sorry I took more than I should, but my people were asking me to talk for them today. The children, our aunties that never came home. And even some of our survivors, they might be home, but not home. They're trying to find themselves, and this uprooted them. It was a hard first few days, and by Friday, so it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday, I couldn't stay any longer for any more to come, and that was the day our MP came to see us. But the very first time was with our elders gathering to tell the story with our elders coming home. They don't know that story. They were told to hide amongst the crowd. I always tell people, tell the truth. Always tell the truth. Don't pretend. You can have fun, but don't pretend with anyone. Never make fun. Never talk about another person. Although we've been raised in this society, we get caught in it, a whirlwind of nothing, nonsense. Our parents, we have a Bringing Tradition Home parenting program we've been doing for a number of years, and I'm so happy to say that with Gary Robinson, my friend down there, and Josette, and this year we had my husband Lekeyten join us. But those parents from all over, this is the first time we had a steady class of 12 to 13 people from all over the Lower Mainland and Vancouver. And they were searching for something. And when we sang, the children already were doing their own drum. They'd never been around it, but they were doing it. And some of them searching for something. That's why Wachia, that's why Lower Fraser Valley, that's why Fraser River Indigenous Society, that's why FRAFCA, that's why Mission, that's why Vancouver. All over, the societies want something to do, and if they could just put down that little t-shirt with a number 215 on it, in my memory, it's my mom and dad's number. I love them very much right now because they were brave, those residential school survivors, the day school, all the children everywhere that were moved from their families, that we make sure the right policies and procedures encompass care and respect. Never forget who you are. Never forget who your friend is. Never forget what all those wonderful people that came in your life to teach you something, even without a lesson, that you remember to take it or leave it or take something from it, because we need good and bad. We need it to look at. We need it to get better. I'm talking to all those people who do anything and everything they can. Don't stop. And if you're not volunteering, volunteer. I've been carrying that Lekeyten all this week until I saw, because I've been talking on many, many advisories, and they all did reflections this past 2 weeks since we heard the news. And it was like opening an old wound. Now I understand why my mom and dad were that way. Why I understand my cousins why they were that way. I understand my uncles and my aunties. And guess what? It's still happening, that we have to learn to understand and forgive. And work hard, always, for yourself, for your heart and your good mind. Not because I told you, but because you need to do it so that you can look at other people straight in the eyes and say, yes, I'm here and I love you and I'm your best friend. Whenever I see somebody, they're my best friend right away. Someone said, do you remember me? I said, I remember you. But I don't remember names sometimes. But I'm pretty good at it. Some even let me call them a name, like Laura or Christine. And they'd say, no, Cheryl, I'm Priscilla, I'm Verna. But they let me for 4 years call them a different name. And they were so kind not to correct me. And it was pretty names, no matter what. I know it took a lot of time, everybody. But the Secw'epemc asked me to. The Secw'epemc said, we will do it the way we can, the way we're supposed to. If we were at a potlatch or a naming ceremony somewhere, we would be standing there listening to all the speakers, and the majority of them would have been our elders, teaching us the protocols per nation, because every nation has their own protocol. It's not the same as Kwantlen, not the same as Katzie, not the same as Semiahmoo, but the greeting part is. But 4 protocols that are important to our people is our language, our welcoming. Welcome everybody to the land here that we share. That we're feeding you with refreshments, because people came a long ways on their canoe and their horses, and they walked or they ran. Feed the people. Grandma and Grandpa could feed 100 people out of their kitchen. And then Lekeyten's mom was the same way, and his grandma and grandpa were the same way. Everything we had in our house was gold. And majority of it was salmon or wild meat. So I've been standing up here long enough, my friend. I could go on. And I see a symbolic fire happening right now, and the fire is happening all across British Columbia. The story's harder than what I've shared with you. Whew. Thank you, Katie, for letting me talk. I'm sorry But I'm so used to saying sorry, but not today. I needed you to hear that. And thank you for nodding your head to me. Yes. I needed you to hear what I had to say from the leadership on both sides of my family. We learned to be leadership family. We were taught that. And we never ever boasted about that. Our leadership was giving, generosity, and the laws of life that we are trying our best to work on. Our 7 laws of life, the Stalo people, the people of the river, health, happiness, generation, generosity, humility, forgiveness, and understanding. And every one of us is on that personal journey with those words, and also the 7 sacred teachings. I'm sorry, I can't recite all of them. I only know them as lessons in our Bringing Tradition Home. But my favorite one is wisdom and humility and humbleness. And Sasquatch, honesty. So this is the longest I've ever talked anywhere. And thank you for listening to me. Thank you for being patient that I didn't answer you sooner. But my memory is very bad. Anybody can tell you that. I have to be told over and over now. I used to get mad at my husband. Now I'm doing it. I got karma back, people. I got karma back from Lekeyten because now I forget. But I don't forget what's important. You are important. The children are important. They are a gift from the universe and the Creator. And where do you think all those spirits went? It's in every one that I see here. And the other ones that aren't here, but they're walking here tonight. Alma relations, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, Setsamat. Now, an amazing singer, an amazing man, Lekeyten, to do an honor song for the 215.
We ask the drummers to come up.
Can you please get all the drummers up, please?
I need someone to hold my camera.
Rattlers, everyone, please.
Not snakes, but
Want me
rattlers.
to hold that? Is that what you're
Yep.
saying? I'm gonna go get my drum.
Or wherever you are, just jump from there. Okay?
Whoa!
I'm right now trying to get them to play one more song. They may need some encouragement. Please raise your hands if you like another song. I think they are speaking. We're blessed.
It seems a little spooky to see yourself walk in front of your own family.
Yeah, it does that, doesn't it? Watch myself go, what? What's that me?
Yeah.
I think you're good right now. Going too fast.
This is gonna be a long time.
tonight with all of you. I'm so blessed to live in the community of Langley, full of such big hearts. This event was brought together tonight in 4 days. I put a call out to my community partners and to Cecelia, and we were able to bring everybody together tonight and have this wonderful memorial for people, for the 200 children that were discovered at the Kamloops Residential School. And I'm just really happy is not the word, but I'm a little overwhelmed at how amazing the turnout has been today, despite the weather that we've had, and to see the sea of orange. I'm blown away, and I'm so grateful that all of you have come here tonight. I'd like to pass this off to Cecelia. I really thank Cecelia, first of all, for being such a powerhouse and sharing her passion with me. In educating people about residential schools and all of the work that she's done. We met in 2012, organizing Idle No More here in Langley. I'm not sure if any of you were a part of that, at Williver, but it's been a long time since we worked together. That wasn't the only time, but I'm really honored to be back in your company and be doing this work with you today. So thank you so much. Thank you to the Township of Langley, to Inclusion Langley Society, to Encompass Support Services, to the School District of Langley, to Sharon United Church, to St. Andrew's Anglican Church, to all of my staff at the Lower Fraser Valley Aboriginal Society, and especially to all of you for coming today to make this such an amazing event. And I'm just really honored to be here, and my hands go up to you all for participating this day and showing not just in your mind, making it a reality that you're going to be part of the voice that's going to make a change towards the Indigenous people in Canada. That wasn't me. But just thank you all so much. My heart is so big right now, and I'm really happy that we're here to share this together and be able to send these little ones off and let them know, and their families know, and the survivors of residential schools, that they're not forgotten. So I'm on mission. Thank you.
Go first.
Okay, just to make sure that you know, I'm not Cecelia. My name is John Johnstone, and I get to sit on the board of Lower Fraser Valley Aboriginal Society and journey with a great group of people. And yeah, that's part of what tonight is journeying with great people like everyone that is out there tonight. I'm part of the 60 Scoop, and so I never grew up with my culture, language, spirituality, or any of my Homo ways. I have been blessed and honored to learn some of my language at Kwantlen through Secw'epemc. So I'd like to say, Asiem itanasiea, itanasialaqua, itanishwalaqua, itsapu olio, antha chon, Talitan ak the camel, Kwantlen Ceremony. I would also say, Mitzet Patwilam, Tanatamach, Haha Tamach, Ayamach Tamach. Ilek Tanashkwala and Patsits Patsnala, Tanawaya, Heitzepka. Also, I would say, Itzen Kilas. I am sad. It is a sad thing that has happened. Itzen Ias. I am happy that you are all here to share in it. I am happy. I think the 215 is nothing that is new to anyone that is an Indigenous person. It was always told, the stories. I've had the honor to be able to sit in communities and listen again to the survivors tell some of their stories and see the pain that is in them and through them and coming from them. And with that, I want to ask, I don't know if you want to call it reconciliation, conciliation, or righteousness of relationship, but there is a great need that we begin to journey properly, that we begin to journey together in a good way. It will definitely not be fair to our elders and our survivors and our communities if all that happens out of these 215 children that have been found, if all that happens is that we upset the communities again. So I want to ask that we would look to our past and understand it and know it well, so that we might be able to take a good step forward. For it is nothing in the future that has brought us to this day today, but it is everything in the past that has brought us here. So once we understand our past well, we might be able to take a good step forward. So again, I would ask that government, please do not let this be nothing. To the education systems, I would ask, please do not let this be nothing. Eat some ham. It's a sad thing. I am crying. I'm sorry. We have to find our ways. We have to find our strengths to move forward in a good way. It will take good minds, good hearts, good footsteps forward. Please do not let this be something that does not move us in that direction. On my relations, lights up them.
I just want to take a few minutes and say thank you to all of you who have come here today. My name is Cecelia. Youts, Nuriam Zit, Extuquia, Kalasinugua, Kwantlen Ceremony. This has been a really hard week. And the compassion that I've witnessed in our community and beyond our community has been heartwarming. And for all of you to come here and stand today, to take a few minutes out of your day, out of your lives, to recognize 215 babies. I don't call them children. They were somebody's babies. And it doesn't matter how old our children are, they're babies to us still. So I call them the babies. Indigenous communities all across this country are in grief. And when we grieve, we usually slow down. That's the way we do it. We're supposed to stop and be quiet. Instead, not for me, it didn't work out that way this time. I was reignited. So I'm warning everybody now. There's a lot of people on fire that want some things done. And I'm going to ask you all to walk along with us. Because this is not a journey just for Indigenous people to do. This is a journey for each one of us as Canadians to do. And we are all coming together to do that work in a good way. It's not about pointing fingers. It's not about being angry. It's not about being angry at a certain religion, a certain group of people. My dad taught me to walk in this world with grace. And the grace is embracing each other as brothers and sisters in this country. My dad also taught me to walk softly. Walk softly. And even though there's so much hurt, the Indigenous communities and the Indigenous people in this country are walking softly. How much grace we have. And I understand that those 215 babies have awoken this country. We have to do whatever it takes to bring them home. Whatever it takes. Governments have a responsibility, churches have a responsibility. I've talked about that. What we're doing right now is symbolic. The lowering of the flags, right here. Symbolic. Wearing our own shirts are symbolic. Lighting a candle is symbolic. That's the easy stuff. And that's what we need to do right now. But we have to understand there's a hard road ahead of us. There's work to be done. A lot of work. And it's going to be painful. It's going to be painful for you and for me. Because for some of us, the view of what Canada was up until 2 weeks ago has totally changed and shook us to the core. And so it should. Indigenous people have known that our children are in the ground at every residential school across this country. Over 130. This is the first one, and I understand. This is traumatic. But as we go through the process of every single residential school, and I will be demanding it, and I hope all of us will be demanding that every single residential school needs to be examined. That's 130. We have 129 more to go.
Yes.
We cannot give up.
Hi.
Our babies deserve to come home. And we as Canadians deserve to know the truth. And then at that point, we'll be able to figure out, how do we work with each other? How do we walk alongside each other? This is going to be tough. And it's going to be exhausting. but we can do it. And I can feel it. I went to Kamloops last week. Yes, essential travel for me. My heart needed it. I needed to go. I sat at that school for 16 hours. I watched people come and go. I watched all nationalities of this country come to that site. And it was very healing. It was so healing to be there. And the grace that the nation showed was incredible. The same grace that I see here. But no, we're grieving. No, our hearts hurt. Know that we are thinking about our families. I'm wearing a shirt today that has my dad's picture on it. Some of you know my story, some of you don't. What I can tell you is my dad was a survivor of the Alberni Residential School. And my dad passed away on December 3rd. And I miss him horribly. And I wanted to give up. I wanted to say it didn't matter, but it matters. It matters that we keep going. I had somebody ask me the other day, what do you think your dad would think? And I said, I'm glad he's not alive to witness this. Because our survivors told these stories and nobody believed us. And it took Canadians having proof to believe us. And that is so wrong. Again, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. Thank you for being here. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be emotional. And I want you to know with each one of you, I so appreciate you being here. We're going to take a minute and have a moment of silence. And then we're going to play Amazing Grace, and I'm just going to have you stand, reflect, think of the 215 babies. Think about the babies that haven't been found yet, that we will bring home. That's a commitment that I need from each one of you. You're going to help us get those babies home. Every one of them deserves to be held in high honor. So just a moment of silence to recognize. Thank you.
Ooh.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. So on behalf of everyone who put this day together, thank you all once again for coming. You are more than welcome to stay, visit, connect. Shortly, the lanterns that you have placed will light up. You can choose to walk that path again and take time over the next couple of weeks as the lanterns are allowed to remain here on site for a couple of weeks. Thank you once again. Whiteskycloud.
This concludes our vigil. If you would like to proceed and look at the lanterns, we would be honored. And please do remember, this is every child's lives matter. Ninashkamun, I am grateful.